What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 710 Performance YouTube channel. I know it's been a little while since we've done a video. That is going to change. We were busy. I just started a new regular job working in the evenings. Yes, things are a little bit slow with powder coating, but a lot of the reason that I did this too is that we just got our new property and we do want to start building a building around springtime. So we want to go ahead and get some extra work in while we can so we can go ahead and get this shop built up. We need the shop because we want to start working on this Celica GT build that we've got. So today we're going to show you something that you don't necessarily have to have a media blaster to go ahead and clean off an old job or clean off old stuff. We're going to go ahead and sand it down, and also how you can use like an orbital sander or sanding disc to make some really cool designs, so when you lay a transparent coat down, it's actually going to kind of reflect some of the well, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. Here's the piece we're working on. So this piece here was made for me back in my internet radio days when I was doing stuff about cannabis. You see, maybe I was called TL or Thurlow, and then my show is Wake and Bake with Thurlow Weed. There is another leaf right there that goes here. We haven't found it yet, so chances are we might go ahead and try some other techniques on this at another time, because if we powder coat the leaf and then turn around and try and weld it on, it could definitely mess up the powder coat. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get started on this. We are using I believe it's an 80 grit or a 100 grit. It has been used quite a bit. We do have a 40 grit, I believe, here as well. So we're going to go ahead and start with this one. These are kind of welded on, so we're going to be very careful with the pieces that are here. Sorry about that. So somewhere along there, we ran out of space on the SD card. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and use this. I got two different grits of this, and we're going to be very careful. Now, this is actually a finish that is on here. This is not rust. It's like a paint and clear coat finish that was put on here by the person who made it. This was custom made for me, so really cool. I believe it was Mark Montoya who made it for me back in the day, probably like about 15 years ago or so. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get to working on this. We're just going to sand it down, and then I'll explain to you guys what we want to go ahead and do. Now, we won't have to blast this afterwards. We could just go ahead and be able to clean it, outgas it, of course, and then if we need to, we can sand off any other spots, and then go ahead and wipe it down or give it an acetone bath and go ahead and powder coat it up. So let's go ahead and time lapse this up, and I'll get this all cleaned off. Let's see how long it takes too. We can set up a timer. So what I'm thinking is that we'll go ahead and take this and dunk it in a stripper and get everything stripped off of it, and then go ahead and come on back and do some sanding on it, because right now at this point in time it takes it off, but since both of those are old, it's not taking it off as well as I would like. But to me, a new one is gonna leave more damage on the thin metal than what I would like to do. So we're gonna go ahead and get this in the stripper, and then we'll go ahead and get to sanding on it. So we're going to go ahead and take this on over to the shop real quick. It's about 10 minutes away or so. We're going to go ahead and dip it. I'll show you guys that. Dipping it in the rim strip. If you want to know about rim strip, which is the stripper that we use, kind of similar to other strippers out there, it does have that methylene chloride in it, so you will have to have it shipped to a business address. But Matt, down below, there's his number. You can call him at Chem Express. There's also other strippers that they have that are pretty good that you can have delivered to your house that don't have the methylene chloride in it. We're gonna get this on over to the stripper. We'll go ahead and get this stripped up, bring it on back, and get to work on it. So depending on what social media you found me on, you may or may not have seen, I'm getting back into sports cards collecting. Jeremy and I are. It's something that I shared with my brother many, many years ago. And we actually have found about, well, cards that are made from the mid 80s and early 90s all the way up to the mid 90s. So, you know, 20, 25, 30-year-old cards that we have found. in the closet, and we're going to be going through those. So we actually do have another YouTube channel that we're launching as well. So stay tuned for that. There will be a link in the description in future episodes once we get the channel launched and get some videos out there on the channel. So if you're into sports cards collecting or anything like that, or maybe you want to see what's in about 3, 4, 5,000 sports cards, if there's any attic finds, I guess you can say, because these are, like, you know, they've been put up for like 20, 30 years, so it's going to be very interesting. So if that's something you want to check out, stay tuned. It's something we will mention in the future. There'll also be a link to the channel when it actually goes live. So let's go ahead and head on over. We've got the piece back there. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we've got more great videos coming. I've got spreadsheets that I'm working on so you can figure out your daily, hourly, and monthly operating costs. And that's also some information you can find in the This Business of Powder Coating Facebook page that I run. There is a link for that down in the description, so if you're on Facebook, which you should be, definitely go check that out, send a request. It is a private group that has over 1,200 members in it. It's just a positive group where there's powder coaters who have been doing this for years and people who haven't been doing it for very long, and they share their knowledge and information and ask questions, so it's definitely a good group. And if you just love powder coating, you can go check out the Powder Junkies private group as well, and there is a Powder Junkies entertainment page as well that we're working on. So we've got a lot of stuff going on with powder coating. We appreciate your guys' support. We just want to bring you information, fun, and entertainment. Remember, we just started this channel to document what we're doing. We're not trying to be the boss of anything. There's definitely people out there that know a lot more than us. We're just documenting our journey, having fun, and doing all we can to help you and keep you entertained. Let's get on this drive. So we will go ahead and let this sit here in the dip for just a bit, flip it over so it can get the other side, rinse it real well, and then go ahead and head back on over to the house and start to work on sanding everything down and putting the marks on it that we want to put on it that will help kind of bring some design out to it. You'll see that in just a bit. Okay, we got this through the stripper. Now it's time to take it back and get to more sanding on it. Let's do that. So we've got the sign pretty much ready to go ahead and powder coat. We are going to do a little bit of blasting on the back because the raised up pieces, you couldn't fit the sander behind it. So we're going to blast the back of it. But go ahead and check it out. We are going to keep this design on it because we're going to do some really cool stuff with powder coating. So go ahead and check this out. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and powder coat this multiple colors. You're not going to want to miss it. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. We'll see you in the next video.